Hoje nós estamos aqui com Sharon Denadel, do Within Temptation, para responder as perguntas que vocês, fãs, enviaram sobre o novo álbum Bleed Out, que sai no final desse ano, e mais algumas coisas. Yes, so today I'm representing your fans because we're doing a Q&A with questions they sent us. So I'll just,
Okay, great.
yeah, they're amazing. They're really excited about the new album. So the first question is from a fan called Victor, and he asks, how did the strategy of releasing a series of singles turned out? Are you satisfied? Are you happy with the outcome? And if so, can we expect the same for next releases?
Well, for us, it's something that we are now trying out. It's for the first time for us to release so many singles. Of course, it was a strange time as well because the fact that we had the period of Corona in between as well. And we started with this during Corona also to keep ourselves busy and also our fans to something to look forward to. So it had two good sides to our opinion. And those singles needed to be on the album as well. In the first place, we thought like maybe just release them and just make them singles solely. But then a lot of fans said, it's a pity that we don't have this also on a physical product together. And we started doubting and eventually changed our mind and decided to still release an album with every song on it because it's nice to have all the albums as well, and then this album, of course, to finally have a physical product, of course. But it's not everybody wants it because a lot of people just go to the streaming platforms and that's enough for them. But there's also a small group of people that still want physical product, and yeah, that's cool. And we love to have that one ourselves as well.
Yeah, I think they're really important for us who like to collect stuff. So,
Exactly, exactly.
yes. So, Carol asks, the band released videos using AI. What do you think
Yes.
about the controversy surrounding this new technology? And is that something that concerned you before deciding to go for it?
Well, yes, very much, because I understand the concerns, and I hope there will be laws soon to guide everyone to what's allowed and what's not allowed, because sometimes it's not very obvious what the dangers are, and that will help people to make the right decision, I guess. For us, it is a tool that we love, especially because the fact it gives so much opportunity, and a lot of times it would not be it's very expensive to do what we did actually now normally, and it still was a very expensive video, though maybe not look like one because AI is very difficult to think. That's the consideration still if we really like that or not, but it's more like we were very happy how it turned out because it became a very new type of video for us, something that we would not able be afford because it takes so much time, and also money wise it's very expensive to make something like that similar, an animation like that. We always wanted it, and this is the first time that with a tool like this it's still even possible. And we wanted to have like a painting coming to life, and that's what we try to do. And it worked out like that. But like I said, the lip sync is something that needs to be worked on in the future. That's something that AI is not very good at. So on that point, that's a little bit less beautiful. But on the other hand, we did everything in the same way that we normally do. We used the same group of people, worked with the same people, I mean. And so we had the director, we wrote the storyline together. There were actors who were filmed, the band was filmed, everybody was filmed like we normally do, but that the only thing is we added someone to the team, and that's the AI specialist. And of course there's a lot of things to still figure out what to do with AI in the future, but I think there's a lot of upside, not just in the art way, but also like in hospitals, like finding certain cures for certain things, and not cures, but maybe problems, like scans and everything. It goes easier with AI, for instance, than it normally would with a lot of people, which is more expensive.
Yeah, that's fantastic. The music videos look like amazing. I like how they kind of take you to another dimension, something like this. So
Yeah, it's in between real and
exactly,
drawn. Yeah.
exactly. It looks beautiful. I love it. And I think most people are afraid of how it's going to be used on music because you can like shape, I could shape your voice to sing anything. And that's kind of creepy, isn't it?
Well, it is creepy in a way, but you know, as long as people don't say that we made it, then I'm fine with it actually, because it will never be you. Because well, we were also discussing this, like, would it be a problem for any of us if somebody would do that actually? But you know, if somebody would make, for instance, an Metallica song, and would I go and listen to it? No, because it's not a Metallica. And you know it's not Metallica because it does, well, it's different. You know, it can be similar to Metallica or Within Temptation or any band, but it will never be that. And you can't see it live. It's not, you know, so those kind of things. And as long as they don't say they are you, I think that's quite a difference. And so far, what I've heard of people trying to do so, it hasn't worked out that great. So you know, it's like it's mediocre most of the time than the real thing. So I'm not scared of that. And you know, this is new technology. People can do whatever they want as long as there's no laws for it. And unfortunately, so and I think people should be protected in a certain way. But I'm not scared if people would use my voice or music similar to, because you know, you already have bands that are inspired by you and who do sound differently also because it's made by somebody else. And
Yeah, so now the questions from Henrique Dortin. Did you record more songs for this album that didn't make the final track list? If so, we will listen to them in the near future.
Well, there's a few songs that didn't make it, and especially one song that I actually did like, but it didn't turn out. It was in the basic, very beautiful, very beautiful song, but we left it out of the album because we felt it deserves a better version than it turned out. So we're struggling still with it, how to make it in the right way. But you know, sometimes it needs a little bit more time and eventually it will see light. Like Ritual, for instance, was also a song that we had written before the Resist album, actually. But we didn't dare to put it on the album at the time because it wasn't mature enough at the time. And now it does fit on this album. And it became heavier on its journey in those 5 years. And now it does fit. And it's a nice break from all the serious songs that we have. It's more of a fun track.
Yeah, so you guys don't really discard your drafts, you go back and check what you already have when working on a new album. Is that what happened?
Well, most of the times we don't take old material for a new album because we just love writing in the moment and writing something new. Something new is more magical than something you already written and you have your doubts about, because it takes a lot of work and time and effort to go back in that well, vibe of writing in that song. So it's better sometimes to write something new than something old. But there's always sometimes one of these jams like Ritual, which I do think is a jam, that I couldn't let go. And I'm happy that it finally ended up on this album.
Yeah, that's good news for us. So Emily Seabrook asks, do you ever worry about fans taking your lyrics the wrong way and misunderstanding your stance on political issues?
Well, that's why we have interviews to make it very clear. And I talk about these issues as well, or the subjects of the songs at a concert a lot of times. So there's no doubt about what my vision is on it. And I'm always open about the subjects, especially more nowadays than in the past, what my lyrics are or our lyrics are about. And so yeah, I think that won't happen that easily, but it can always be interpreted in many ways, of course. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, as far
Yeah,
as I know.
yeah, I'm afraid.
Well, once actually I did entertain you. A lot of people thought it was about the fact that we as a band were not there to do entertainment, but we are in entertainment. So people didn't understand the title until I explained what it was about, and then people understood, of course. But it's that was maybe the only song that I ever had any really big questions about from fans.
Yeah. Well, I have to like compliment you and the whole band because I admire everyone who's making art but artists who are like using their platforms to talk about things that we need to discuss as a society, I respect deeply. And as a fan, thank you for that. The new
Thank
songs touch topics that are so important and people often ignore. So thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. So carry on with the Q&A. Junior Asuncion wants to know, how was it to produce a new album that sounds different but doesn't lose the band's style?
It was quite difficult. We worked a longer than normally on the songs, like trying to really find the important things, to crystallize that and to bring it out the right way. But I think, even what we've always had in the past, and we have maybe also with this album, I'm not sure yet, but because it's too new, or the whole new album, is that when you look back on it, that you would do things still different, because it's an ongoing process. It's like a painting, it's never finished in the painter's mind, so there's with music almost similar. But yeah, we try to finish it up like 90% for how we think it's going to be okay, but there's always this 10% that you would have done differently probably.
Yeah, so Irene, I guess that's how I say her name. She wants to know, what was the hardest song to write, both lyrically and musically?
Well, the one that didn't make it. Sorry, that's not nice. So let me think. Was the one that we had? I think Go to War was probably the most difficult. I don't know why, but anymore, because sometimes you forget why a certain thing was difficult, because it's in the process, and then maybe you're just out of ideas or something. But I think it turned out really good, and it's really one of my new favorites actually, because it has a good vibe, just music wise also.
Yeah. And is there a song that is hardest to perform in an emotional level?
It's Bleed Out actually, because it's a different, it requires a different way of singing. It's almost like singing with a lot of breath, and it's sometimes when I hear it back, it's like, oh, it needed more delicacy. In the studio it worked out fine, but then you have to do it live, and then there's so many things happening during a concert that I really have to focus with that song. Some air like you did in the studio, so it's a very thin line of singing too loud or singing too soft. So I'm still struggling sometimes with that, to find the right way of singing that. But I love singing that song because it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites of the new album too. So the last question comes from Maria José Macario, and she wants to know, in your opinion, what are the stronger points of the songs Wireless and Bleed Out?
Well, I think you mean musically, right?
I think so. I think she wants to know like whatever you want to say about it, but it hits harder about both of them musically.
Okay, well, I think it's a very, I think the contrasts in these two songs are especially very nice. It's like you have, for instance, with Bleed Out, really the heavy riff. It's like really, really heavy, and heavier than we thought we would ever could sound. And then you have the very ethereal kind of vocal line, which is a lot of air, and such a big contrast with the heavy guitars. So I think that's really a nice contrast, and that we try to achieve a lot of times that we couldn't achieve, because technically it wasn't possible making it that way. But nowadays there's ways to lower the guitars even further than we were used to, but we can't lower it any lower than this at the moment. This is really the lowest we can, and it really fits my voice. So I think that's a really nice contrast. And with Wireless, it has so many different parts. It has this really catchy line, but also this really dark vibe, and also of course the guitars again. It is a very nice mixture of a lot of styles that really fit together, I guess, and makes it a very diverse song to listen to.
Yeah, so
In my
how was
humble
it?
opinion.
Yeah, your opinion
Of course,
matters
yes.
the most. Yeah. So this is it for our Q&A. You're coming to Brazil. This is fantastic news. I'm so
Finally,
happy.
finally.
Yes. So if you want to like just invite everyone and let us know you're coming.
Yes, Brazil. Well, you probably heard it, but we're coming to you, and I really hope to see you there. Let's party together. I can't wait because I know you know how to do that the best. So bring it on.
Yeah, so I really hope to talk to you with my own questions by the end of the year when the album's out. And I'll see you next year in Brazil.
Okay, I say both to, yes to both. So I hope to see you in Brazil, and I really hope you come back with new questions. Great.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a great
You're
day.
welcome. You too. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.
Bye.